honestly think my number one thing today that I will say is thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you again and again. As we get into this Splat Zones map on Wahoo World, the best possible thing you could do when you're sitting at home is watch a carnival, watch a theme park, watch some Splatfest, some Splat Zones happen at Wahoo World.
We're going to dive right into it here, and you can already see, at this point, you should have known that Power is playing pretty much any charger that he wants to play. He has been chopping up the E-leader here, really since it got its most recent buff. 2 shots of that thing, and that zone will be neutralized. But Melissa, we have to talk a little bit here about the war that is currently going on in Splatoon. It feels like teams are trying to play around each other with space, rather than the meta that we have seen for the past couple of months.
I absolutely agree with you. I think everyone's just really gotten to a point where they feel like they're having fun. You know, the meta is always going to be there, and there's always going to be players who feel like I have to play exactly what's good, exactly what's strong. But when a player can kind of take what they've learned over the past 5 years of playing Splatoon, not just Splatoon 2, and really feel comfortable with those types of weapon, that's what's going to make them shine. And I think that's what we've been seeing.
I agree completely, and the foil flings a roller, maybe the biggest beneficiary from the most recent patch. You're going to see a lot of those missiles right there, and you see Power sizing up DJ. DJ's got to be careful and actually is able to get a splat, and that's a crucial splat. If Power was allowed to stay on that side, that would mean that that road was going to be closed. Another extra punishment there on Taylor jumping to the beacon, and after a shaky start, you knew that quantuM wasn't going to stay down forever.
They never do. Honestly, it's one of my favorite things about watching quantuM play. They are constantly pushing back, making sure that they're able to kind of take back over wherever they may be down a little bit, and it's the resilience of that I really appreciate about watching them play. Even retreating over here, Bran, is aware that somebody is still kind of following, just wants to make sure that they're in a good position before they kind of fight back. And at this point, they're 2 points away from taking the lead, and they still have control of the zone, even with that tent umbrella kind of pushing in, those missiles coming out 2-9. This looks like it's going to be a pretty tough opportunity for Slaughterhouse to come back in and take this over.
I agree completely, and that was a very risky flank because you saw that they were able to call out Keen before those bubbles were able to do anything, and that separated them here with just 10 seconds left. Power's going to need to hit a lot of shots. You can see the bubbles coming in. Can they pop in time? And they are just barely 3 ticks away from the end of the game, but they are still fighting. They still have an opportunity, but you can see here there's still 3 members of quantuM in. They do jump out, so this will be a lockout situation. They're going to get the chance to set up their defenses, but my, oh my, was that close to being over right then and there.
It certainly was. I think this is where quantuM needs to be super careful, because if Slaughterhouse can set up a strong enough defense, I say that, and commentator curse right then and there, quantuM is able to take that zone back over. They have a hefty penalty they need to deal with right now, but with Taylor getting shots like that, they might not get very far into this. So we'll see what's going to happen, and in terms of who will be able to hold on to this for much longer.
And I think the real risky thing that we have to look is a fantastic splat bomb there from Zero. I was even going to talk about Zero here. The weapon that he is commandeering right now, the custom dually squelchers. If you haven't heard about this weapon, give it a set and you will. This weapon is so pesky. It's got the tools to do almost anything that it wants. It has the range to be able to move around, and it's given Zero, who is known for being a very aggressive player, an extra level of survivability when he plays. We talk so much about Brush and Tent Umbrella with survivability. Here's a weapon that can do it all, and you see right there, he got away from that fight. That's not something that his trusted T-Tech would have been able to do.
And that beautiful shot on Keen right there, I did not think that he was going to be able to get anyone out there, but you're absolutely correct. I think this is some of the best movement I've seen from Zero in a really long time. While we're all out here playing Animal Crossing, Zero is flexing on those dually squelchers and doing a fantastic job.
You know, it's worth noting here, Tension has been on a break from this game as well, focusing on school, coming back and not missing a beat with this weapon that everybody seems to be talking about as well, the Bamboo. And these last 2 weapons that we've talked about, Melissa, again, it's a game of space. People are starting to figure out, if people are going to go armor and try to run at us, we'll just space them out. We're not going to miss every shot, right?
Absolutely. I think that that's a really strong thing to think about too. You know, Bamboo has been like a fan favorite, I guess, or a cult favorite, if you will, for quite a long time. That's a good way,
the cult, yes.
Yeah, and it really is. You know, we know that 20QQ is one of the most favorite teams out of anybody gets to watch. But when you see someone like Tension come in and use a Bamboo as commandingly as he did within that game, I think it just goes to show that it really is about how much you can take a weapon and utilize it to your special needs. And that's what we're seeing right now.
We are indeed. We have some more donations here, as we can see right there. Zero pacing the field. But how about this? We have a $10.69 donation from Izzyman saying, "Long live Splatoon." 3 words says it all.
It certainly does. People talked about Splatoon being dead. Can we just mention for a second here, Nine, how excited I am for a Splatfest coming back at the end of May? I mean, there's no way Splatoon can ever die if we're gonna have what's it called? A rematch, right? Of ketchup versus mayo yet again. This game is never dying. We're in for the long haul.
I can't put the game down. So, if I'm the last one playing it, then so be it. But I certainly can't put it down. I will say, though, in this Splatfest catch-up, I hope you bring a better fight this time than last time. That's all I'm saying. Team Mayo, baby!
Team Mayo! I am right there with you, Nine. Forever. The only ketchup I like is the little duck from Animal Crossing, and the rest of it can stay on your hot dogs and hamburgers far away from me.
We're going to be moving on here to Black Belly Skate Park Rainmaker. It wouldn't be a grand finals if we didn't see this of all map modes coming up here. And I'm very curious to see. Black Belly has always been one of those close quarters maps, even when close quarters weren't as favored. We might see some Tri-Slosher here. We might see some... I don't know that anybody's going to bring out a Luna Blaster here, but we have seen this be a great Luna map. But the story of that last game, again, was that quantuM's comp was able to effectively deal damage without taking it. They were able to move away, space out the opponent, and force them to come in their own way. It looks like they're not changing a single thing up. Both teams are going with the same general look.
I love it, honestly. I think that this is really good. I think the one change that I'm happy to see here is Keen swapped over to the Sorel-Umbrella, which I think is way stronger of a pick for him here than a Tent Umbrella, because you don't have as much flat ground to be able to kind of guide that tent as you will. So I think this is a really good move for them. I think the trouble here, as you mentioned, is it's really close quarters, and we know from history Slaughterhouse has a way with Rainmaker sometimes where they pick it up, they run, and they just push that all the way they can. So this is going to be a little hard for quantuM to be able to kind of be ready to defend against that.
It is, but they say that a best defense is a good offense. Going in and attacking, and Power with a clutch shot right there. I was going to bring up that Power isn't going with the Squiffer that we had seen so far from him in the tournament here, but it makes sense, especially if you feel like the opponent has weapons that play at a similar range to Squiffer. And of course, hitting that shot right there was great. And now, keep in mind here, Melissa, if they're able to push Keen up forward there with that Brella that's going to be able to kind of take the attention of quantuM, this might be a beautiful and powerful Stingray whenever Power chooses to use it.
Certainly will be. I think the one thing Power has to be careful for there is Zero is on the side trying to initiate a flank, so Power needs to be really, really cautious of that happening. I say that, and I don't know where everyone went, but all of a sudden Slaughterhouse is completely wiped, and this is going to give a great opportunity for quantuM to push in. They're pushing up this half pipe. They take that lead very quickly. The rain is coming out 2-9 all the way to 38. I think that was a fantastic push coming out from them.
It was, and credit Power for actually hitting a shot there on Zero. If Zero was able to stay alive at that point, they would have been able to continue jumping in and putting some pressure on the opponent. But we were talking so much about trying to push Keen up there, trying to get Power up there as well. Whenever you need that much in order to get a push started, the time starts ticking away. The longer it takes for you to set up your win condition, it's that much more difficult to make it happen, especially against a team as mobile and strong as quantuM. And look at this. That wasn't even a bad push in by Soldier. They just collapsed so quickly.
They really did. Honestly, I'm not even going to say it. We'll discuss it after the game, but quantuM, they're doing amazing things right now, and I think everything they're doing is right. So far, they have just been really planning things out. Even going 2 down, yeah, it's not good right now, but they are perfectly in position to kind of stop some of these pushes that are coming up this half pipe. They get that nice shot on Taylor as well, which is going to be crucial here. They just need to be so careful of Power when Power gets in position, and Keen. Is Keen the one carrying the Rainmaker? I'm not quite sure who is pushing that Rainmaker, but if Keen can push through, all right, so Soldier. So, I don't know, Nine. Keen goes down somehow.
Yeah, Keen actually went down there to a rogue Splat Bomb, and Zero actually flanked behind there. Wasn't able to get the Rainmaker as a result, but did slow down the rest of the team from getting there, and you aren't going to be able to make a push with just the Rainmaker. A flurry of Burst Bombs coming in to take that one out. I believe it was Kyo who said that DJ has the best Burst Bomb rushes around, and, living up to the billing right there, I'd say.
I would completely agree. I think DJ is my favorite slosher player within competitive Splatoon. absolutely love watching him play. I think the way that he gets in position and makes sure that he's able to kind of time his shots, his use of specials, as we just saw, is phenomenal. I think he's just very, very smart about how he plays this weapon, and it really shows. So we'll see if quantuM is going to be able to kind of hold off for the next minute and a half that they have left here, or what they're going to set up for a push-in.
And you see the way that DJ was defending the area right there. He went to the middle, he went back to the right, then back to the middle, then back to the right. People often think that if you want to set up a sneaky defense, you have to shark or something like that. But DJ stayed active throughout that entire time. They were able to take 2 out, and they didn't give up anything in mid in order to get it. Zero rolling away right there and dodging as many of these bombs. Okay, finally one gets it. I was about to say, how much HP does your Inkling have? But we do have a pretty rough situation here. Power is trying to defend here as best he can. He has to be able to hold them back here, and it does look like they got the respawns in just in time. That was a really shaky moment, Melissa.
It certainly was, Nine. I was a little worried about it because it seems like Slaughterhouse is just consistently not really able to maintain the manpower that they quite need right now. I think quantuM is doing a fantastic job of consistently forcing Slaughterhouse into a staggered spawn, which makes it a lot harder for them to make these coordinated pushes. But the Stingray coming out, Taylor in perfect position gets that trade with DJ. The trade will help a lot. I say that, and one more member of Slaughterhouse goes down, leaving 3 members of quantuM in mid. Tension is uncontested to kind of hang out here, let this timer tick down. They don't have a lot of time that they need to hold on to this here. I think the safest play is exactly what they're doing, stalling it out, giving them some time as everybody kind of rushes forward to take out the other players that they could. Taylor does not do much in order to stop tension here, and that will be game.
A valiant effort there by Taylor to close that one out, but the mobility that quantuM had there, it seemed like every time a pick happened there, it was Taylor going down, and Taylor on the front line wasn't really able to get a lot of help. Credit the members of quantuM for being able to separate Taylor from the rest of the action that was going on there. I think that Foil's a fine pick, and I think, of course, Keen on the Sorella is going to be very strong as well, but both of those weapons need to be able to work in conjunction with Taylor on the front line to really make that work. And that time there was just too much separation. The members of quantuM were able to slide in the gaps between the players and were able to take them off and pick them off there very quickly. A dominating first 2 games. We will move to Mako Mart, and to be honest, I think in the last set against Supernova, this might have been the weaker mode for quantuM. So if Slaughterhouse is going to get anything going, this might be the one to do it on.
It certainly could. I think that we know how strong Power is on that charger, and I think if Power can get in position with those Stingrays, can just shut these down over and over again. And I think that's what quantuM needs to be really careful about here. I don't want to see a tension versus Power moment consistently happen here. I want to see quantuM come in and systematically take out Power, focus on that, but pay attention to where Taylor is, because if Taylor can get to them first, there's going to be a lot of issues there. So we certainly will see what happens. I'm really excited to watch that game. While we wait for... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to call out some of these donations that we had here while we wait.
Go for it.
Because we did get another fantastic donation in here. We have $5 from Lord Pixel, $5 from Nintendo Game 64, and $100 from Beta. Let's hit this 5K. Absolutely. Thank you all so much for all these donations that are coming in. We are at $4,541.38, Nine.
Goodness gracious. We are so close to 5K, and for everyone being so generous, you never want to ask for more. This is already so much more than any of us anticipated, but the nice round 5K right there. I believe in us. Let's get to it, everybody. Supporting Direct Relief, supporting the people who need help the most right now, who are risking themselves to make sure that people are safe. There is no better cause. Thank you once again, everybody. And Beta, not that I'm counting, but you have racked up quite a total, my friend. Thank you so much in particular. But to take it back to the match, one player that I'm really curious about right now is Soldier, because Soldier, as I believe K-Bot, the robot earlier, called out, is a foil squeezer and a foil flingza main. So a true foil main, one of the few who can say that. But I'm not sure that the foil flingza right now is really gelling with the rest of the comp. I feel like the game is just moving a little bit too quickly for the style of game that he wants to play on that foil. We know that he is great on the foil squeezer. I'm wondering if this might be the map that he goes back to that, brings out the bubbles, and really kicks the aggression that Slaughterhouse is known for into another gear.
Sometimes I think, like we were talking about earlier, where you feel really comfortable about something is going to be where you want to stay. And like you were saying, if Soldier is so comfortable on that foil squeezer, going back to that when you're 2 games down might be the best play here. We'll definitely see what they decide to do as we get into this tower control on Mako Mart. My favorite map, hands down for all competitive modes. I think that it's super balanced and really strong, and I'm very excited to see this tower control game play out.
Oh my goodness, how's about this pick here? You wanted to see, we've been talking about all the winners in the patch. Here is one that I have heard more people go back and forth on than anything. The Tri-Slosher is back. It is not patch 1.0. It is a new age right here, but this weapon can still get zoned out, it can still be bullied, and it doesn't build up armor as quick as you might think, especially if you try to play it in a more aggressive manner. So we'll see here as the other Slosher of DJ gets a lot of action going right here. Has about 3. And Melissa, I don't think this is what they were looking for here at the start.
I don't think so either. I think this is actually kind of what we didn't really anticipate. I think Zero's kind of swapping back over as well to play a little bit more of the support to DJ being pushing so far ahead and being the aggressor that we're seeing right now is a fantastic idea. DJ doing everything he can, kind of facing down, gets that beautiful hit on Soldier as well, tossing out this bomb rush as quickly as possible. Another one on Keen. I think this is the exact type of play that we're expecting to see from quantuM, and I don't think Slaughterhouse brought the answer.
No, I don't think they did, and right now the real risk is how long is it going to be before Zero gets his Inkjet? These have all been scramble situations, but we know what Inkjets are capable of on this map. You see that Zero is already pushed up and is actually able to get Taylor here, the most mobile of their players. DJ's coming over to assist right now. They are able to shut down Zero, so that one could have gotten a lot worse there, so credit them once again for holding, bending, and not breaking. 64 still very much in it right now. Of course, the Junior not the best weapon in a fight, so Brand's gonna have to be careful here. You see him staying back here. In the process, though, they've lost mid, and this might be the best opportunity we've seen for Slaughterhouse.
It certainly looks like it will, but with 3 members down, it was really only that Flingza roller that was available to kind of do anything here very, very quickly. quantuM is able to take back mid, take some map control over here. As much as they don't have as much as maybe I would wish they would to be able to push ahead of this tower, I think they're doing a phenomenal job just kind of holding on to what they have here. They consistently, as much as they fall back, they push back in, and I think that's very smart. What Power needs to do right now, I'm not quite sure, 9.
Well, he needs to get away from where he's at right now, and he has done just that. We said that Zero's Inkjet was going to be the big thing that might open up a bigger push for them there, and I think it was about to, but Power staying up and active that entire time, nobody really going down except for the Tri-Slosher means that they will play a bit of defense, and this is one of those situations where maybe being a bit heavy-handed in their attack is actually going to be the opening that is necessary. Sometimes in Splatoon, we see you make a push forward and it actually helps your opponent. So we do see some map control going back in the favor of Slaughterhouse here, but once again, just not enough pressure. And I don't want to continue harping on a single player, but I don't know that the foil Flingza is able to move up here and attack. And when Taylor goes down, it really does feel like the onus is on Keen to make a play, and it hasn't worked out for them so far. There's just too much that has to be set up.
I completely agree. I think it's just really difficult for them to be able to find the exact positioning that's going to be really strong for Soldier to be able to push back forward. I think Soldier and Keen need to attack this as a systematic pair, and that seems to be falling apart a little bit. I say that, and of course, Slaughterhouse able to kind of rush in forward and sneak in that lead just by that 1 point. Really nice job from them. That checkpoint was crucial, though, because even though the tower will reset a bit back to mid, Slaughterhouse has a great opportunity to get much further in that next push.
They do, and that was a fantastic trade right there. The foil Flingza saying, hey, I hear what you're saying. How about this? Getting that pick onto Brand is huge because that means they didn't get any map control, and you know how quickly that can flip when you're a junior. And again, the thing that opened the game up was they were able to sneak Power into a position where he was able to go ahead and zone people out and get some picks, but now Zero coming back the other way, creating an opening just out of sheer willpower. And now he has his Inkjet here. As long as they're able to move Power and safely get him up into the air, this might be the opening they need. He's able to get this here. Great job rotating over and getting that. Once again, they've managed to slow it down, and now it's an Inkjet coming the other way.
I love this. This is exactly what we want to see. You know, Slaughterhouse said, hey, we are not out of this battle. We are going to take this to everything we can. And Taylor popping that Inkjet, making sure that he was able to kind of get as much commanding presence as possible was really, really strong. I'm very, very happy to see that Slaughterhouse has pushed further forward, getting all the way into the 50s. They are almost to this second checkpoint here. if they'll be able to hold on to that, I think that they have a very commanding lead on this game. As much as quantuM is not going to let them take this very easily, I think we're looking at a stronger showing from Slaughterhouse this time around.
I would say so, but keep an eye there on the top of the screen. Look at how many specials are either online or almost online. Zero's going to start this push with his inkjet right here. You see Keen being forced all the way away. The missiles are out too. Right now, we're going to be on Soldier's perspective here as it comes down. Can this inkjet get them? Taylor needs to hit these shots, and they need to go now. Tension staying alive, and it is going to be an overtime victory from quantuM, stealing victory from the jaws of defeat. And right there, after a scramble for really the last minute of the game, quantuM had all of their specials at the end when they needed them the most.
Wow. Made me eat my words right there. quantuM coming in clutch at the very end. That is exactly what we want to see. I am so impressed, Nine. I am like sitting here with the biggest grin on my face. This has been an amazing, amazing showing from both teams. We're in a best of 7, so we do have at least one more game here. And if I remember correctly, I feel like Slaughterhouse is pretty strong on New Albacore Hotel. So we might be in for a little bit of a mix-up coming at us as well.
We might, and quantum's always been pretty strong on clams, but to steal a phrase from Hitzel, if you have the charger in the room, this is your map, and I don't think anybody would argue against Power, especially the way that he has been playing today. So this should be the opportunity for, if nothing else, Slaughterhouse to stabilize a little bit, slow down the game, and be able to play a more measured attack. But I gotta say, with the way that quantuM stole that one away, when you finally had a little bit of momentum, will Slaughterhouse be able to keep it together mentally?
I don't know, honestly. Honestly, I don't want to jinx anything here. I don't want to kind of commentators curse anyone, but I think this is going to be an uphill battle for Slaughterhouse in that mental game you're talking about, because quantuM has had such a commanding showing on all of the games that they've played so far that Slaughterhouse needs to kind of pull everything in, hold themselves together. Maybe we all take a calming breath together, go into like that super focus mode, and just work what they've got. And I think I would like to see that swap over to the foil squeezer would maybe help. I think having just, I don't know, a little more comfort might be a good thing.
Yeah, I agree. And they have Keen as well, so you know that there's a Tentabell option if they want. We know what bubbles are capable of on this mode, and you have Power. So this probably is the best thing that you could have asked for given to it. Everybody, we're starting to run out of games here. We have hit the fast forward button. If you want to get some donations in, now is the time as we get into game 4 right here. Slaughterhouse on tournament point, and Bran has swapped over to the Kensa Rapid. Rapid Revolution, everybody. The weapon's not dead.
Absolutely. I think this is going to be so much fun to be able to watch. I love watching Rapid play. Sorry, I can't even speak. I'm so excited. This is... this is what we want to see, right? So we have such an interesting comp coming out from quantuM, and as you mentioned, usually they're really strong on clams, so maybe this is their goal here, that they're just going to kind of go into this as something that's a lot of fun for them to play, as we say that.
Don't do this, okay. If Power hit that shot, they win the set. I don't care what the score is, they win the set.
I completely agree with you. I think that was the most fun I've seen on this map in a very long time.
Okay, Power gets a little revenge right there onto Zero. That's going to be a score here. They see Tension here. Now, Tension is on a mobile enough weapon that Soldier's not going to get this for free, but he is able to hold just long enough. And anytime that you see that here, only one score, that's not a big deal, especially when Keen is pushed up here. But look at this. That Brella went off just a little bit too early. Now Bran is going to be able to come over here with Zero. They're going to be able to close that down quickly. This baller is going to make it that much easier to hold this defensive position. Gets the pop just in time. Now needs to be careful. Where are the opponents? Taylor rolling around here, but Bran moving around. Some slick movement to win mid back for his team.
Absolutely wonderful. The exact type of movement that we want to see. Bran is just doing everything right with this Rapid Blaster, making sure that he's in a perfect position to move throughout the map and, landing the shots that you really, really need to land, like that one on Keen as well. The Brella, as much as it is going to protect you, when you get in a position that you're facing down a weapon that can get that chip damage over the Brella, you need to be so careful. And I don't know, speaking of positioning, quantuM is really putting on a lot of pressure right now as well. Slaughterhouse is 2 down yet again. This is going to be a little bit of a make it or break it moment.
It is, and looking at this comp again, you're really starting to see the wisdom here. They have 3 weapons that are going to be able to attack the opponent from safe distances. We have the Rapid, we have the Custom Dually Squelchers, and we have the Bamboozler there from Tension. If 2 of those shots hit from anything, that's it. That is a safe way to pressure. And we've seen Power get attacked on some of these raised areas a couple times simply because they're able to safely do damage without risking themselves taking damage. Right there, Taylor was able to sneak through, get a nice pick, and was able to pick off Brand there coming on the flank. But you see they weren't able to get anything off of it. Yes, they have some map control. They don't have that many clams, though. And as we say so often, if you control the map, you control clams. Something's not adding up here.
I completely agree. I think that's kind of what's sort of failing here is that I don't know. I've said this often that sometimes teams kind of fall away from paying attention to what exactly is the objective of this mode. And at this moment, I think that's the problem. So we're slowly seeing that quantuM is kind of building up their clams, but they're not really holding on to as many as I would like them to. And they're making it very difficult for Slaughterhouse to get anywhere on the map where clams are spawning consistently as well.
Yeah, and again, you saw right there, it was DJ and Brand this time, again, playing from similar ranges where they don't have to go in and risk themselves to attack and do damage. There's another one right there, the Burst Bomb Rush, going to open it up again. They just aren't able to come in and get the picks necessary, and all this while, Tension going to come in and immediately bag there. Probably thought that he was goner, but he is not actually. He's going to continue to harass Power and make this that much more difficult. They're finally going to collapse, but as we so often see on new Alpha Core here, it's either you score them all or you only score one. That's just the second score we've seen, period.
It really is. I was kind of thinking this reminds me a little bit of old school clams when we were looking at those games that would go all the way into overtime and you were kind of waiting to see who would score once. We've had 2 power clams go into a basket, 2 separate pushes. It's not even that we've had one super strong push. This is kind of not really as expected as what we're used to here, and we'll see if Slaughterhouse is going to be able to change that up right now as Keen has these bubbles and the Brella using them to kind of maneuver himself and stay pretty cautiously safe, but facing down 3 different players is going to be really difficult. I say that, and the teamwork that comes out from the teammates right there is phenomenal, Nine.
Unreal. Keen saved this game for them. Went down there. They only need 2 more to take this lead, but the last one up's Power. Power's not going to be able to push. He needs 1 more claim. Can he get it? He does not! The wall! I think a bomb got thrown off the wall there! That would have been it! Keen with the insane individual play, surviving all of that in the last-ditch effort they had, and 1 more claim would have taken it, but take a look here. We can't look too far there. 1 more power claim is going to get them the lead. Those 20 points will be enough. They are still in it, but they've got to collect it. Let's take a look there at the top. 0 clams right now. The last one is Power. Tension's going to run out of power. Can they even find enough clams? 2, 1, they managed to get it. Keen has it here, but look at this. The 3 members in. They're going to attack with everything they have.
Oh my gosh, and going down right there is not what you have. This is going to be the opportunity that quantuM has been waiting for. They don't have enough clams to make a power clam here. I don't quite know what they were waiting for, but they just had to let the timer go and do its thing there. Fantastic showing from quantuM. I'm going to say it now, 9, because I didn't want to curse them earlier. This is the best I've ever seen quantuM play. I think, you know, we've talked about in the past how sometimes teams take this like moment where we have this like shifting, right, of the teams that kind of are, I don't want to say star teams, but like playing the best they possibly can. I think this is that moment for quantuM.